Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel or have not seen any of this video series, basically my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks is where I take a look at this week in DC Comics. And then I talk about the week and pick the comic that I enjoyed the most and call it my Andrew Cutter Pick of the Week. Now, if at any time you want to see a full review of any of the comics mentioned in this video, just go back on my channel. I already did a full review of each and individual issue. In addition to the Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks, I also do news and updates on this video if necessary for my channel. So, with that said, let's jump into this week in DC Comics, which this week was actually quite a big week. In addition to the normal comics I get, the normal comics I'm subscribed to, I picked up 3 additional titles that I'm not subscribed to. So, I think it was 3. I'm pretty sure it was 3. It might have been 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. So anyways, with that said, let's take a look at this week in DC Comics. All these are issue number 4s, so I don't have to say that after every comic, but here's Batman and Robin, Batgirl, Batwoman, a lot of bats going around here, Green Lantern, way to ruin the mood, Sinestro. Got Batman, Batgirl, Batwoman, and then Sinestro. Superboy, Deathstroke, and I wanted to say how hard it is just to say Deathstroke. All the time when I talk about Deathstroke, I have to say his full name, Deathstroke the Terminator. And it is tough just saying Deathstroke. It would be nice if they just said Deathstroke and then the Terminator underneath. But hey, small minor things. Suicide Squad, Grifter, and then rounding out this week is Demon Knights. So, on a whole, this week was a pretty good week. We had a lot of goods, a lot of ups, particularly with Batman and Robin. Batgirl I enjoyed. Green Lantern I enjoyed, and I also enjoyed Demon Knights very much. All those comics were very good. And then we had some middle ground comics like Grifter and Superboy, and then we had some comics that weren't quite as good with like Suicide Squad and Batwoman. So we had some up and downs, but for the most part I like to think it was a good week. Oh, and Deathstroke was also a good comic too. It was actually tough thinking about the comic I enjoyed the most this week, and I actually sat down for a bit trying to figure out which one I enjoyed the most, and it really came down to 2 comics. One of them was Batman and Robin, but unfortunately that was not the pick of the week. This week, my Andrew Cutter pick goes to Demon Knights, issue number 4. Now, the reason why I'm giving it to Demon Knights over Batman and Robin is just because Demon Knights does such a fantastic job fleshing out the character of Shining Knight, giving an origin for the character, giving motivation, and giving personality. I got more from this character in this one issue than I got from some characters in the past 4 months for the DC relaunch, which really just shows great writing. At least when it comes down to characterization. Paul Cornell, who does Demon Knights and also Stormwatch. What I like about Paul Cornell, and I'm going to take some time to talk about him too, is I like his ideas because they're very over the top. I believe he wrote for Doctor Who, so that would explain some of it. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan. I've only seen a few episodes, but still, that would explain for the over-topness. But he has big ideas. He has colorful characters. Both of his comics have very unique, interesting, colorful characters and great stories. The only minor gripe I have with Paul Cornell is sometimes, just sometimes, his dialogue can be just a little messy, but it's only sometimes, and it does show up a little in here, but not too much. I definitely think it's something that's going to either I have to get used to, maybe it's just his writing style, or it's something that he'll figure out in the future. But putting all that aside, Paul Cornell is doing a bang-up job with both Stormwatch and Demon Knights. I think out of the 2, I'm enjoying Demon Knights a bit more, although Stormwatch, he's really making me fall in love with the characters there, particularly Apollo, Midnighter, and the Immenser of... the guy with the swords. I'm still learning all the Stormwatch's names, Stormwatch members' names. And I also like that dude that can talk to cities. That's pretty good. But we're not talking about Stormwatch. We're talking about Demon Knights. And like I said, this issue was a solid issue. Big focus on Shining Knight, which is definitely something that needed to be done. Coming from the perspective of a ongoing comic fan, I know who Etrigan is. I know for the most part who Madame Xandu is. I know who Vandal Savage is. There's only a few characters that are introduced here that are either new or that I don't know too much about. And although I do know basically who Shining Knight is, this is a newer version of Shining Knight, which I believe was used beforehand by Grant Morrison. I could be wrong. But I know more of the traditional Shining Knight. So it was great to have this character kind of explained, fleshed out, and given us backstory. It would be nice if he did that for some of the other new characters, like, and forgive me that I don't remember all their names, but the woman that's on the horse archer, the one that can't use her legs, the barbarian monk woman, almost Amazon-esque woman, and then the rogue. Spend one issue to focus on all three of them. Not three individual issues, but one issue to focus on all three of them. Maybe they sit around the fire and they just talk about where they're from and who they are. Or maybe they just have flashbacks or something like that. Something just to flesh out the characters a little bit more. But I'm going on and on. Demon Knights was a great issue. More or less just because we get so much from Shining Knight, and she is really turning out to be one of my favorite characters from this book. Etrigan is still at the top, but Shining Knight, Vandal Savage, characters like that are getting up there. So I'm really, really enjoying this book. Like I said, other books were really close. In particular, Batman Robin was close to being my pick of the week. I think it was just because Demon Knights was a little bit better. This didn't do anything wrong, but this was a good issue too. And you know, like I said, there was a lot of good issues. The only issues that really disappoint me were Suicide Squad and Batwoman. They weren't bad issues. They just didn't do things I wanted them to do. So, with that said, that is this week in DC Comics. For the most part, a good week. A very big week too. At least for me. I'm going to have to go through all the comics I pick up because, see, the thing is that I pick up comics, and I pick up my comic load, and then after I pick up my comic load, I'll go to the comic store for whatever reason. I'll have an extra $3 on me, and I'll be like, I'll pick up that. Or I'll pick up that just to try it out, and then I get hooked, and I keep on buying it, and I can't do that because it costs too much money. So what I'm going to do is just trim some of the comics that I want to read, and then trim off some of the ones I don't want to read, which is going to be sad because there's a few comics that I really like that I might have to stop reading. I'm not sure. I came close to dropping OMAC, but I picked up issue number 4, and there's just something about OMAC, and I really should have reviewed it, but there's something about OMAC that just keeps on drawing me back in. Granted, it's a comic more for people that enjoy Silver Age stuff. The thing about OMAC is Keith Giffens and Dan DiDio are making me want to care about this character. I think his name is Kevin Cho. Really make me want to care about this character, see what happens to him, care about what happens in his life. And I do like the big smashing and bashing of OMAC. So I don't know what it is, but that comic keeps on drawing me in. It's a very Jack Kirby-ish like style all the way down to the art. It's very Silver Age. What you guys got to understand is people like Jeff Johns in particular, but also Dan DiDio and some of the older comic book creators and writers, they like comic books in the style that they had when they were younger. So they're more akin to characters like Hal Jordan as opposed to Kyle Rayner, Barry Allen as opposed to Wally West. That is why those characters have made such a resurgence. Barry Allen came back from the dead, as did Hal Jordan, but they also like the style of stories that come from it, very over-the-top sci-fi stories and all that kind of jazz. And I'm not really, I'm not complaining actually, because I like Hal Jordan and Barry Allen a little bit more than Kyle and Wally. I'm one of the few people of my generation that do. Don't get me wrong, I love Wally and I love Kyle to death. But the thing is their perception on comics is a different style than what we do, which is good because different styles is fine. I'm actually kind of happy we have a comic like OMAC that is a throwback to the Silver Age comics, which with all the differences we have in comics, with the DC relaunch with, you know, reality-based comics that are like Men of War or, well, I guess On the Edge comics like Men of War or All-Star Western, and then we have comics that focus on the edgier characters like Deathstroke, Grifter, Voodoo. Then we have the traditional superhero comics like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Then we have more of the magic-based comics like Demon Knights and Justice League Dark, and then we have comics that are very much more horror and macabre, which is like Animal Man and Swamp Thing. With all this variety we have in comics, and there's a ton, I can go on and on with the different categories. It's kind of cool that we have a comic that is very Silver Age in its style. And I accidentally dialed something on my phone. 00000000000. Somehow it called a number. I need to get a new phone. Desperately. So, like I was saying, it's kind of cool to have a comic that's a little bit of a throwback to the old Silver Age. Hey, I'm cool with it. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to have to go through my comics and truly figure out a definitive set, list, and schedule. And when I get that, I will send it to you. I think I know what I'm going to have to cut. And I'm not going to be happy that I have to cut it because it's a series that I like. There's a few series, but I'll get that to you later, and I'll figure it out. As for any news and or updates, let's just talk about a few random things right now. First and foremost is that I am in the last stretch for finals. I have two finals. Two finals left. I had one last yesterday. I had to get up at 6 in the morning to make it to class to do a presentation. Our presentation was 8 in the morning. I had to get up at 6 because I'm in... It's funny, my girlfriend and I are separate, different in the way that she is always late for something, I'm always early for something, so, but I still had a long drive that I had to do to school. But I had a final yesterday, and then I have a take-home final due Monday, which you think, oh, that's probably a good idea. Not a good idea. The take-home final is 8 pages. I have to create my own questions and create answers to the questions. I could show you the guidelines here, but I mean that's just the guidelines in general, which is all that you see there is just guidelines and formatting. The formatting is ridiculous. Never have I seen so much formatting in the world. So I've done 3 of the questions so far. I'm going to try to finish up 2 more today, get those 2 done, and then do the formatting on Sunday. And then I have another test, my last final on Tuesday, which I have to study for. Half of it is cumulative, and half of it is what we've learned in the last half of the class. And not last half, the last few chapters. It's for an elective course, too. I'm a business major, and it's for health. And you think, oh, health, human nutrition, it would be easy. I'm good with stuff like that. Like, I could name every bone in the body, from anatomy and physiology, all the different systems in the body, but boy, this class is kicking my ass. First time in a long time in college that a class has been kicking my ass. I've had trouble with some classes, but this class is kicking my ass. So I have to get through that. I'm going to all do that later, but let's just do some general news. First and foremost, this is kind of old news, but Miyamoto from Nintendo, people thought he was actually leaving Nintendo and stepping down and retiring. And he's not. He's just doing smaller projects. But isn't it funny when he said that? Nintendo stock went down like this. Do you know what that means? That means that guy is going to be there till he dies. Because he is just such an important person to the company. I just thought that was funny that the stock was like this. And then when they said that, it went down. But when he corrected it, it went back up. I think it was more or less the translator that was talking to him. So, don't know. But I just found that kind of funny. I have a review ready for Assassin's Creed Revelations. I finished that actually yesterday. When I got home, I was a little too tired to start my final, so I took like an hour to just relax, and I did Assassin's Creed Revelations. So I finished that up. I have a review of that, and I'll post it up a little bit later. And I'm currently finishing up Skyrim, and I don't know how you would define finishing up Skyrim, because Skyrim is a game that some people say you beat the main quest, you beat the game, but then you have to play everything else to truly beat the game, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to be playing that up, and I'm going to try to get a review of that for you guys sometime before Christmas. Like I said, this week is going to be hectic. I'm trying to do Christmas shopping. There's still some people I have left to buy for. And I ordered some stuff online and they haven't come yet. And it's just anything else in general? There's actually a few things I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember off the top of my head what they were. Sorry. But yeah, nothing really new is happening other than the fact that I gotta finish off finals. And on my channel, I do have the Zelda timelines set. to review, but here's something. A frequently asked question that people have is that will I be doing another Batman timeline? For those of you that don't know, what I did is I would take my Batman trades, lay them out flat, and give you a chronological timeline of Batman stories. Will I do another one? Pretty much I will, but it won't be for a while. There's a few reasons why I haven't done another Batman timeline. Reason number one is because not many trades were added to the timeline since I did my previous one. I think most of them are the Dick Grayson trades, and I think like 1 or 2 Bruce Wayne trades. So not much has been added to the Batman timeline since I did the last one. I think maybe 5 trades, and most of them you can just find online. So that's one reason why I haven't done a timeline. Second reason is that with the relaunch, it's obvious that Batman Green Lantern was the least touch out of the comic book characters. Most of their history is intact, but some stuff has changed. Dick Grayson, a lot of his run as Batman has been taken out. I think the Tony Daniel stuff has been taken out, but some Batman stories may no longer be in continuity. The majority of this stuff is, but you never know. Some stuff has changed. I mean, minor things have happened that has changed. So until I'm certain on what's canon and what's not, I don't feel comfortable releasing a timeline. Which brings me to another reason. I don't have the trades. I don't have some of the trades that have been added to the timeline. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't bought a Batman trade for a bit because of the relaunch. I do plan to pick up the Black Mirror at some point because it's a good stuff. It's a good stuff. It's good stuff. Bad grammar. But the holidays are just kicking my ass when it comes down to money, among other things. So when it comes down to it with the Batman timeline, I'll try to get it to you guys, but it may be a bit. So please be patient. I'm sure you guys could figure out most of what I've already did, and most of what is left you can piece together. And like I said on my website, I always have the Batman timeline there. It should still be there. So when it comes down to Batman timelines, I will try my best, but it may be a bit of time. I'm running a little long here, so I plan also to do a question and answer video sometime soon. I will be posting an official video where you can, post questions and then go from there, but if you want to, you can start by posting a question here, and I'll answer it in my question and answer video. Of course, it can be about anything. Go right ahead. I am an open book. You can ask me any question at all. How well I answer is up in the air. Like, Andrew, what's the meaning of life? Actually, that's pretty easy. Batman. But the fact of the matter is you can ask the questions here, or later on I'm going to post up an official question and answer video. I don't know when the actual, a video where you can post your questions, because not a lot of people are going to watch this video, not everyone is. But yeah, you can post your questions now, or you can post them later, and I will try the best I can to get them all together. Last thing, and this kind of pertains to what I just said, is that I'm only human, so if I miss questions, I'm sorry. It happens. I am a horribly organized person on YouTube. My life, I'm kind of organized, except for my room, but on YouTube, I'm horribly organized. So, I know that was a bunch of stuff thrown at you guys, but here you go. I will try to post up some more reviews and more stuff later. Assassin's Creed Revelation review should be up either today or tomorrow, depending. And then we'll go from there. So, back to finals. Well, this is Andrew saying peace out now.